It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Brewdog, and it's a bottle of their Brewdog versus Northern Monk Imperial Stout, coming in at 15% ABV. Look at that one. Really excited for this, I really am. I'm a big fan of Northern Monk. Used to be a massive fan of Brewdog. I'm still a massive fan of Brewdog. They're dark beers. Brewdog have yet to fail me on a dark beer, so I'm really excited to get this 15% ABV Imperial Stout out into a glass and see what we get. It's called Tokyo Death. There's the bottle cap. I picked this up in Brewdog Cardiff. Let's get the beer out into a glass and see what we get. Nice bit of smoke on the bottle opening. Beer in the glass then. Oh, can you hear that glug? It's like engine oil. Quite impressed that it even got a slight head on the beer. 15% ABV beers, they're more likely to have alcohol legs climb in the glass than to have a head. You're not really going to expect a head on a glass of beer at 15% ABV. You wouldn't expect a head on a wine, would you, at 13% ABV? So why would you expect a head on a beer at 15%? It's jet black in a glass. Small bubbles. Look at that. Let me get that to the camera. Look at the small, very small carbonation moving up to the side of the glass there. Really impressed with that. Aroma. Yeah, jet black. Jet black. There's nothing else to say. Aroma. Oh, blimey. Yeah, that just smells incredible. Absolutely incredible. Vanilla, dark fruits, plums, figs, prunes, raisins, that sort of thing. Chocolate, coffee, caramel. Oh. It just smells like I just want to hold it forever. Smell it forever. Caress it forever. But we don't have time for that. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Oh. Yes! 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 Well done, Brewdog. Stone the Crows. Stone the Crows. What an awesome, awesome beer this is. Why is this beer so awesome? Why am I so excited? It's 15% ABV. That is like ruinous territory for a beer. I've had so many beers around that ABV that have just been totally ruined by the alcohol by volume. Just too much for the beer. Breweries have not been able to kind of hide the alcohol, big alcohol burn, just big alcohol flavour. None of that here, none of that. Brewdog have just managed somehow with Northern Monk to produce a wonderful, velvety, thick, dense, rich Imperial Stout with chocolate flavour, coffee, caramel. It's very vinous, very vinous. You've got plum, figs, prunes, raisins, all that them lovely kind of dark fruits you'd expect in an Imperial Stout. There it is. I'm going to pick it back up. That's incredible. I'm not standing here saying there's no alcohol, you know, I'm not standing here saying that. There is an alcohol kick. You can feel the beer in the inside of my throat now, in the pit of my stomach, this warming, lovely alcohol feeling. Yeah, it's like being hugged from the inside out. It's all about the density. If this beer was thin, it just would not work. It's so thick and viscous and rich. And then it just helps to carry the flavours, because if you think about it, if you think about a latte, a big, thick, milky latte, it's just got a wonderful mouthfeel. And it tastes as good as it does because of that mouthfeel, that lovely, rich, thick coffee flavour. There's a lot of coffee coming through in the taste in this beer, and that is all through the roasted malt. It's not like they've thrown a load of coffee. Well, I haven't read the back of the label yet, maybe they have, but for me this is more roasted malt, a big roasty, toasty, wonderful beer. So the bitterness is coming from the coffee. I would say also bitter dark chocolate. If you snapped a piece of dark chocolate in a little squirt of it, put it in your mouth, you'd have a lot of bitterness, but then you would have this velvety, rich, again, massive, rich, gloopy substance in your mouth. Exactly the same as this beer. You've got that big, thick, rich, viscous mouthfeel and flavour with the beer. Just the feeling of the thickness, like engine oil. And then the caramel. The caramel, for me, represents this kind of sticky sweetness. There's a touch of sweetness in the beer. And then if you think about thick, gloopy caramel all over your hands, yeah, that's, you know, it's all about the mouthfeel. That's what I'm trying to get at here. It's all about that massive, thick, viscous, but velvety and creamy mouthfeel that they've just managed to absolutely nail. They've nailed it of Brewdog with this beer. I'm wondering how they've done it. If they used a lot of oats in the beer, then I'm sure, I don't know, 15%, see? I'm trying to do the calculation in my head. 15% is still not going to have a big head, is it? I'm talking to the kind of the brewer, the home brewer people out here watching now. Even if the Brewdog added a lot of oats to the beer, it's still going to restrain, the alcohol's going to restrain that head, isn't it? Maybe there are oats in the beer. Maybe there are. Just love that mouthfeel. And then we go over to the hops on the back end, and the hops are coming through. As I mentioned earlier, plum, fig, prune, figs and prune, and yeah, amazing. Some blueberry, lots of vanilla coming through as well. More bitter balance, I would say. I would say there's a little bit of sweetness. It would be an aeroplane on kilter, so a lot more bitterness than there is sweetness. So it's kind of balanced, but it's doing this. Okay, and of course, Northern Monk have had their shout with this. I mean, Northern Monk, they did a beer recently called Even More Death. Starting to click together now. So we may have, what we have here could very well be Tokyo Star and then some Even More Death, something like that. They did it with Evil Twin Brewing Company. So maybe that's the, without reading any labels, without going on Untapped, that's just me kind of clocking things together. Maybe that's what's going on. Ingredients, there we go. Okay, so water, malted barley, oats. There's a lot of oats in the beer then. Hops, yeast, cranberry, jasmine, Zutaten. Oh, that's a different, yeah, that's a different, that's German or something. So cranberry and jasmine. So the cranberry then would probably represent that plum, fig and prune I was picking up earlier on. Nevertheless, it's an absolutely incredible beer. Look as I rock the beer back and forth. Look at the quality of that liquid in the glass. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm not going to read out everything. There's a lot to read out. I'll put the bottle to the camera. When it focuses, you press pause on your YouTube video and then you can have a big read, yeah? Pause now, have a read. Okay, I'm guessing you've done that now. I'm going to rate it. 330 milliliter bottle, Tokyo Death. For me, this is the best Brewdog beer I've had in years. Years and years and years. This is just fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Well done. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Stone the Crows from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom and cheers.